Hello everyone and welcome back to Come Today promo.
What if everything the Heartland family thought they knew about Lou suddenly turned out to be wrong? What if Nathan had a secret plan to make Lou look like the person responsible for every problem that had been hurting the family? And what if the evidence he found was so convincing that even the people closest to Lou started to doubt her? In this Heartland Season 20 fanfiction story, Nathan is about to make a move that could completely change Lou's life. He does not come at her with anger. He does not shout at her in front of everyone. Instead, he quietly puts together a story about Lou, one piece at a time, until it begins to look like she has been hiding something terrible. But there is one problem. Nathan may believe he has discovered the truth about Lou, when in reality he may only be seeing exactly what someone wants him to see. And when Amy finally learns what Nathan has been collecting, she will have to make an impossible choice. Does she stand beside her mother, or does she believe the evidence? Because this time, the biggest danger at Heartland may not be outside the ranch. It may be sitting right in the middle of the family. The morning at Heartland looked peaceful, but something was already wrong. The horses were moving slowly through the fields, the air was cool, and the ranch was waking up just like any other day. Amy was busy with the horses, Jack was working around the barn, and the usual sounds of life at Heartland filled the property. But Nathan was not looking at the horses. He was standing near the edge of the property, holding his phone in his hand and staring at one message. He had read it several times already. Still, he could not stop looking at it. The message was short, but to Nathan, it was a missing piece of a much bigger story. For weeks, he had been thinking about Lou, not just about the things she had said recently, but about things that had happened months and even years ago. Decisions Lou had made, arguments she had been involved in, plans that had suddenly changed. People who had walked away from situations after speaking with her. At first, Nathan had told himself that he was only trying to understand what was happening. But that was no longer true. Nathan was looking for proof, and he believed he had finally found it. He slowly put his phone into his pocket and looked toward the main house. "Lou," he said quietly to himself, "you should have been more careful." Nathan did not know that Amy was watching him from a distance. She noticed that he looked different, not angry, not upset, focused. There was something about the way he stood there that made Amy uncomfortable. She walked closer. "Everything okay?" Amy asked. Nathan turned around quickly. For half a second, his face showed panic. Then he smiled. "Yeah, everything's fine." Amy looked at him carefully. "You sure?" "Of course." Nathan tried to walk away, but Amy stopped him. "You've been acting strange lately." Nathan laughed softly. "Strange?" "Yeah, like your mind is somewhere else." Nathan looked at Amy for a moment. Then he said, "I've just been thinking about a few things." "About what?" Nathan paused. This was the moment when he could have told her. He could have shown her the message. He could have explained everything he had been investigating, but he didn't. Instead, he looked toward the house. "About your mom." Amy's expression changed immediately. "My mom?" Nathan nodded. "There's something I think you need to know." Amy waited, but Nathan said nothing. "What?" He looked directly into her eyes. "I don't think Lou has been completely honest with you." Amy stared at him. For a moment, she almost laughed because the idea sounded ridiculous. "My mom?" "Yes." "What are you talking about?" "I'm talking about some things I found." "What things?" Nathan looked away. "Not here." Amy became more serious. "Nathan, if you have something to say about my mother, say it." Nathan took a slow breath. "I don't want to hurt you." "Then don't play games." "I'm not playing games." "Then tell me." Nathan reached into his pocket and pulled out his phone. He opened a folder. But before he could show her anything, a voice came from behind them. "What are you two talking about?" It was Lou. Amy turned. Nathan quickly locked his phone. Lou looked from Amy to Nathan. She immediately noticed the tension. "Is everything okay?" Amy looked at Nathan. Nathan looked at Lou, and then he smiled. "Everything's fine." Lou did not believe him. She knew that smile. It was the kind of smile people used when they were hiding something. Lou stepped closer. "You two looked pretty serious." Amy opened her mouth to answer, but Nathan spoke first. "We were just talking about some ranch business." Lou looked at him. "Really?" "Really." Lou nodded slowly. "Okay." She walked away, but after a few steps, she stopped. She turned back. "Nathan?" "Yeah?" "If there's something you want to say to me, say it to my face." Nathan's smile disappeared. Lou waited. Nathan finally said, "Maybe I will." Lou held his gaze for several seconds. Then she walked away. Amy watched her mother disappear into the house. She turned back toward Nathan. "What was that?" Nathan didn't answer. "Nathan! I told you there's something going on." "Then show me." "Not yet." "Why not?" "Because I need to be sure." Amy shook her head. "You're making this sound much bigger than it is." Nathan looked at her. "It is bigger than you think." Amy wanted to argue, but something stopped her. Nathan looked completely serious. "What did you find?" she asked. Nathan lowered his voice. "I found a pattern." "A pattern?" "Things that happened around Lou." Amy crossed her arms. "That doesn't mean anything." "It does when the same thing keeps happening." "What same thing?" Nathan looked toward the house again. "Someone makes a decision. Lou gets involved. Something changes. Then later, Lou acts like she had nothing to do with it." Amy's face became harder. "You're accusing my mother of manipulating people?" "I'm saying we need to look at the facts. You've already decided what the facts mean." "No," Nathan shook his head. "I've decided to find out the truth." Amy stared at him. "And if you're wrong?" Nathan didn't answer. That silence told Amy everything. He was not sure, but he was already moving forward. And once Nathan started down this road, there would be no easy way back. Later that afternoon, Nathan returned to his truck. He closed the door and sat quietly. He took out his phone again. The folder was still open. Inside were screenshots, old messages, notes, and dates. He had spent days putting everything together. One message was from Lou, another was from someone who had been involved in a business decision. Another showed a conversation that happened just before a major argument. Nathan had marked several of them. One word appeared again and again in his notes. Lou. But Nathan had not started with the idea that Lou was the villain. At first, he had simply been confused. He remembered a conversation from months earlier. Lou had told him that she was trying to help. She had said she wanted the best for everyone. Nathan had believed her. At least he thought he had. But then small things started bothering him. Why did Lou always seem to know what was happening before everyone else? Why did certain decisions change after she became involved? Why did people sometimes leave conversations with Lou feeling like they had no choice? Nathan had ignored those questions until one event changed everything. It happened during a business discussion. Nathan had suggested a plan. Lou had strongly disagreed. At the time, he thought she was simply protecting her family. But later, the plan fell apart. And somehow, Lou's preferred option became the only option left. Nathan had thought it was a coincidence. Then another situation happened. Then another. Soon, the coincidences began to feel like a pattern. That was when Nathan started looking deeper, and what he found made him uncomfortable. He discovered that Lou had spoken to several people before major decisions were made. There was nothing illegal about it. There was no single message that proved she had done anything terrible. That was the problem. Nathan did not have one perfect piece of evidence. He had pieces, and he was slowly putting them together. But there was another side to the story. Nathan did not know that some of the messages he had found were missing important parts. He did not know that several conversations had happened before the messages he was reading.